Today it's motorcycles, beginning with BMWs on a difficult but spectacular off-road trip across the Atlas Mountains through southern Morocco. Cato and I had the motorcycle adventure of a lifetime. Later on, we'll check out some interesting Yamahas on the much less interesting side roads of Toronto. It's motorcycles on Car Business. I've been on some interesting test drives in some interesting places, but none the equal of this. BMW, in order to prove that their off-road motorcycles can go anywhere, brought a small group of Canadian, American, and German journalists to Morocco to challenge the Atlas Mountains. My motorcycling style can best be described as boulevard cruising. Was I in for a shock? The trip began in Marrakesh, which is within sight of the snow-capped Atlas Mountains. This is the main square, and it comes alive at night. It's a jumble of musicians, dancers, drummers, storytellers, snake charmers, and outdoor restaurants. The Medina, the historic part of the city, is a maze of narrow passageways with thousands of shops, which make up the biggest local market in Africa. Known as the souks of Marrakesh, this is where you can buy anything from spices to metalwork, shoes to caftans, from very persistent shopkeepers. We didn't stay late, though, as we were scheduled to start the ride early the next morning. As soon as we exited the city, we found ourselves in the brightly colored desert landscape. Windswept cirrus clouds textured the blue sky. Crystal clear air and smooth paved roads had me thinking this was going to be an easy trip. Then we turned off-road. I've ridden across a few fields and over some gravel roads in my day, but never anything like this. You stand on the pegs, give it some gas, and hold on. It's truly amazing what these motorcycles will go through and or over. Fortunately, we were all wearing suits of armor for protection against falls. Here's my bike. I called it the Desert Queen because it's as heavy, powerful, and balanced as a ship. This is the 2011 BMW R1200 GS. It has a new engine this year with 2 overhead cams per cylinder producing 110 horsepower. This is the epitome of the large capacity grand touring enduro which can handle anything from the Autobahn to treacherous mountain roads. It was on bikes like this that Ewan McGregor and Charlie Boorman rode from Scotland to South Africa for the book and the television series Long Way Down. Well, our trip isn't as long and demanding as theirs, but it's certainly the best one you'll ever see on Car Business. Cato is on the BMW F800 GS. It's a parallel twin with 85 horsepower. This one has lots of low-end torque for the trails, and its 450-pound weight makes it very nimble. It stands up tall with lots of ground clearance, and Cato was able to navigate the F800 in first gear at slow speed. The population of Morocco is about 33 million people today, but it's grown by 350% since 1960. Children are everywhere. And they're happy to see a bunch of motorcycles who seem to be dressed like astronauts. They stick their hands out with big smiles. Now, the man in the middle, admiring another mountaintop view, is Hendrik von Koonheim, who used to be president of BMW Canada. Now he's president of BMW Motorcycles worldwide. He's an excellent rider and a real adventurer. Once or twice a year, he gets out of the office to see what his products can really do.
Well, here's our old friend from Canada, Hendrik von Koonheim, but we've come a long way from Whitby. We're in a mountain pass, what, 3,000 meters?
2,300.
2,300 in southern Morocco. And we got here on motorcycles. Motorcycles that went over things I didn't believe were possible to cross.
Look around there, it's definitely not as flat as it would be. As I said, we are 2,300 meters over here. And I think, you know, the last 3 days have been challenging. We have been becoming much better motorcycle riders. Few blue spots on the knees, only few. One, but actually has been a good exercise, huh?
I can't believe what these motorcycles can do. I mean, I look at things and I think, oh, I can't go over that, I've got to go, but you don't. It goes over, it climbs like a tank.
It does a lot more than what we both are just amateurs. You know, if you look, some of our guys who are with us, I mean, for them it's just
amazing.
Just a toy. No, actually, they can do a lot more, and they're built for durability, so they last a long time. And, you know, German engineered, driven in southern Morocco at 2,300 meters.
Hendrik, you're not running little old Canada anymore. I mean, you're a big shot. You're running the whole motorcycle division here. You can't come out here. Mr. Riethofer, he's going to get very upset that one of his most senior people is out here crashing around in the rocks, chasing the guides all over the place. You can't do this. Yeah.
I'm still Hendrik.
Yeah.
I haven't changed at all. Why should I change? No, I mean, surely I've moved on. You know, after Canada, I've been in Spain for many years and now managing BMW Motorrad. But if you do not experience your product, how can you make sure that we have first-class, quality-wise and customer-orientated product? I have to do it as a president of BMW Motorrad. Unfortunately, I don't have that many days a year where I can do that. But once, twice a year, I have to do something like this, just to make sure our products deliver what we promise. We like to over-deliver and under-promise.
We're in the high Atlas Mountains, and it was the most dangerous motorcycling I've ever done. Terrible mountain roads had unguarded 1,000-meter drops on one side and rockfalls on the other. We had excellent guides, though, and the less experienced riders, like us, went at a much slower speed. Confidence built as we went along, but touring like this really requires focused concentration.
Man, I'm beat.
That enduro stuff, it's as hard as it looks.
Oh, it's exhausting.
It really is.
But, you know, I'll tell you one thing. We're better at it than we were just 3 days ago.
Practice matters, and the lesson, that the takeaway for me is trust the bike.
That's right. If you turn the power on, these things go through anything.
Yeah, and the other thing is, don't look down, look up and look away, because if you look down, you end up like me in a ditch.
I know. And don't look over the edge.
Whoa.
You'll faint. Hey, listen, I think it's time for a Coca-Cola or
something cold and refreshing.
Fortunately, in this town, we had a beautiful hotel in which to stay. Morocco is an Islamic country that welcomes foreign tourists and makes them feel welcome. The towns have historic sites, beautiful gardens, and lots of sports clubs and other facilities for the residents.
You know, the town art center behind us, I didn't think they'd have an art center in an Islamic republic, but they do. They're working on art and culture and education, schools everywhere. I feel positive about this place.
Morocco has had the advantage of a benevolent monarch. I mean, this is a monarch that believes in democracy, believes in education, well, we saw the kids today.
Streaming into schools everywhere.
With their little backpacks like they're in the beach or in Rosedale or in Kitsilano.
Morocco is moving ahead, and it was great to see.
We're back after the break with more motorcycling in Morocco.